Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy November. It is November 1st. It is 5:45 a.m. Pacific, 8:45 a.m. Eastern. I am Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, and we are going to take a look at the markets for you this morning. Before we do, I want to remind you, please, to give us a comment, give us a shout out in the chat if you are here live. Would love to know that you're here. Love to hear from you. And let us know what you want to hear in future videos. And if this was helpful to you, if you like these videos, you want to see more of them, give us a like and be sure to subscribe so that you are reminded every morning and every afternoon as we are going live with our morning and afternoon market analyses. So with all that out of the way, let's take a look at starting with the S&P. So, as mentioned previously, yesterday we did pop above that descending trend line and have held above it. So we're now moving sideways. We're actually within the daily box. So right now we're in the value area and we are still below the 21 EMA. But we are making some upward progress. There is a bit of an up move happening right now. However, let's not overlook the fact that we are still in a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So that is the situation we're in. We are still in a downtrend, and you don't want to fight that trend. So given that we're still in a downtrend, be a little bit cautious. Don't go crazy getting long at this level because you could just end up regretting it. Now, that being said, there is definitely the potential for a bullish move developing here on a shorter time frame. If we go to the intraday 60-minute, notice that we've got the very green, very positive Navigator. However, right this second, it is trending downwards, but that is also an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. So the Navigator is trending up. It actually has even turned around just now this morning and has gone green again. So it's above its moving average. It is moving up. So that is bullish. We have managed to come up. We got over this level here, the 27.23 basically level. We actually managed to hop over that and then pulled back down within it again. And then that was pretty much yesterday. We were below that level. But now this morning, just this morning in the wee hours, we have managed to get above that level. So we are, at the moment anyway, let me zoom in for you. We're trying to go higher. Obviously, in order to establish a slightly larger time frame period of or pattern rather of higher highs, higher lows, we got to get over this level here. But right now, we've got higher highs and higher lows. So I'm hoping to see and kind of expecting to see a pullback to maybe somewhere in this level, possibly even down to test this trend line here, and that would still be a higher low. So that is what we're looking for bullish sentiment. Is we're looking to hold this low as a higher low, and then march higher, and needs to break that level to establish a higher high. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. Right now, the 21 EMA is doing a good job of acting as support right this instant. If that holds, maybe this is the higher low. I mean, we won't know obviously until it's complete, but that's what we're looking for this morning. We're looking for some kind of confirmation that a higher low has been put in and that the next move is to the upside, at least for the bulls. For the bears, well, we're looking to take out that low. That's really what needs to happen on an intraday basis in order to establish that there is some downside follow through happening. Don't overlook the fact that right now we are still technically in a longer term downtrend here. And Navigator is still very, very red, but it was also exhausted. So it needed this pullback, but maybe this pullback is all it's going to get, and we still have a downtrend to come. On a longer term time frame, on a daily basis, we've got to get below that. That is our line in the sand, so to speak, that needs to get crossed to the downside in order to get any further down. But let's not forget that we have a buy zone down there, and it's a pretty strong one. So if we do pull back down, maybe we've double bottom around this area here, around the 2603 or so range, or maybe we poke slightly below it further down into the buy zone and then come back up, but that would be establishing a lower low And then do we get a lower high, or do we break this level? So everything in the market right now is at sort of an inflection point, and it could go any direction. But those are the levels that we're watching for on an intraday basis. We're watching for a break of this high or this low to indicate a significant change in direction. But right this moment, anyway, we are in an uptrend on the 60-minute. And on the daily, we're trying to form that uptrend, but we are still in a pattern of lower highs and lower lows. So a little bit of conflict in the time frames. So just be careful. Be cautious in your trading. Let's take a look at crude oil, which is just continuing what we've been saying every day, is that we're heading towards this lower channel line. It seems to be that that's what crude wants to do. We still have plenty of downside momentum in the Navigator. We've got downside momentum building and increasing as well on the Navigator on the 60-minute. So right this second, overnight, we've gone sideways. Since the close of yesterday's session, we've basically gone nowhere, just kind of channeling around in this very tight range here. But if that breaks to the downside, which is what technically anyway everything is looking like it wants to do, then I expect a move lower to kind of try to close that gap. And maybe we don't get all the way to that bottom channel line, but certainly somewhere in here, I would start looking for a potential signs of a bounce or potential signs of a reversal. But it will probably not be an instant V bounce. It will probably come down and channel a little bit or congest a little bit, like it has been doing here, or even to a certain degree here. So that's what you're looking for. Right now, we're in that bottom trend zone. I kind of drew some really crappy lines there, but we're in that bottom trend zone here. So really not wanting to get short at these levels. More likely to want to wait. Unless you're a scalper. If you're just an intraday scalper, then certainly you've got some potential scalp distance in here. But if you're anything longer term than that, you're really waiting for a bounce off of these levels here. You're looking to see if this channel line is going to hold, or if it breaks and heads further to the downside, down to test any potential buy zones down below. And see if I have enough data actually on this chart to look for that. Yes, I do. So there is the possibility we've got maybe a zone. I'm just going to approximate. I'm not going to draw it precisely here, but somewhere around in there, which also suggests that a reversal at this trend line is likely, because it's also in a buy zone. So keep an eye on that. You're looking to potentially get long, but wait until you see some kind of confirmation that something has turned around, at least on a daily basis. Intraday, hey, scalp to your heart's content. If you want to scalp to the downside, that's fine. But a bigger picture, you're looking forward to getting long sometime in the near future. All right, let's take a look at gold. Now, gold is doing something interesting here. Overnight, we had something that we haven't been seeing recently. So recently, gold has been pretty much the exact polar opposite of the broader markets. Whatever gold does, the broader markets have been doing exact opposite, and vice versa. But check this out. Overnight, we had, let me go to the 60-minute here and zoom in a little bit. Overnight, market, when the European session opened at midnight, market came down and then up. Right, and then kind of curved over and pulled back a little bit. Well, look at what gold did. Gold at midnight didn't have the down part, but it went up, curved around, and came down. So gold actually, to a large degree, overnight mirrored what the broader market was doing. So there's a bit of a change that has happened there. Something's going on, and I'm not sure exactly what to read into that, but it's just interesting when the nature of the way something tends to move suddenly changes. So watch gold closely right this moment, intraday anyway. Shorter term, it is trying to establish an uptrend. We had this, down, 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 and now it's coming up, higher low, and maybe a higher high. If it pulls back and holds above this level here, let me get my pen. If it holds above this, then we have a higher low. So we're keeping an eye on those levels if we're looking to trade gold to the upside. Now, gold has crossed its zero line on the 60-minute to the upside, was already above the zero line to the upside on the daily. So maybe it wants to head back up and kind of test this congestion area again, and before heading back down to its lower channel. we'll have to wait and see what's happening. But gold has done a bit of a sharp reversal here. We had a strong thrust down, and then all of a sudden we've had this kind of V reversal happen. So that is the picture on gold. If you are a bull, you're looking to see maybe this trend line holds, maybe a pullback to test this again, or maybe it just breaks this high and marches on, and that would be a very bullish sign for gold in the short term. And if you're a bear, obviously you need to be breaking these lows here or that low there. So that's what you're looking for in gold. Let's take a peek at crypto. See what Bitcoin has been doing. So after that sudden pop yesterday, a sort of wild swing, actually popped to the downside and popped to the upside, it has just gone sideways again in a very, very tight channel, very tight range. As crypto has been doing a lot lately, it has just been in these channels, and then a sudden shocking move, and then a channel, and it's repeating that process here. But it is doing so to the upside. So we have crossed the 0 line on the 60-minute, nice and sharply to the upside. Daily is still to the downside, though. So we're still bearish on a daily Navigator, but it is marching upwards. So we're getting into this squeezy area here of this wedge. It's going to be interesting to see what Bitcoin wants to do when it gets there. Does it want to pop to the upside and try to challenge this sell zone, and then maybe challenge this sell zone? If we get some big bullish action coming in before the end of the year, then we could potentially see that. But we are watching very carefully to see that it holds this low here, this trend line, and then ultimately this low, this lower low here. So short term anyway, Bitcoin's kind of trying to go bullish. We've got our 21 EMA is rising, and it's wanting to push up. But you can see when it got up there, I mean, it just immediately rejected off of that sell zone right overhead. So there is definitely some significant resistance just right overhead. Bitcoin is not going to have an easy fight to get back up to those levels. But those are what we're watching for in Bitcoin. And last but not least, let's take a peek at natural gas. Natural gas is sharply higher. It has reversed its downward move here and has just marched higher and marched higher. And right this moment, I mean, check out the daily. We are right at the top of the daily box. Very potentially significant there, climbing above it, in fact, as we speak. So natural gas is looking very strong right this instant. That being said, Navigator is descending, but it has, you can see that the curve is sort of slowing down and perhaps looking to form a bottom in the Navigator here and maybe move higher. So delicate time for natural gas. If you're a bear, you really need to see it hold these levels here. It needs to ideally hold below this trend line and below also this descending trend line in order to keep the bearish stance. But really sort of your first line of defense here is the box. You really want to see it hold below that box, which right now sellers have come in and pushed it down below the box again. So very pivotal moment right now in natural gas. On a 60-minute, we broke above this descending trend line here. But now we have a new descending trend line to get over. So we're kind of in this zone here where it could reverse and head back down again. But right this moment on the shorter term time frame, we have higher highs and higher lows. So we are in a short term uptrend on the 60. It's not a real pretty uptrend. It's definitely a bit on the volatile side, but it is higher highs and higher lows, as well as the Navigator is trending upwards. So some good bullish strength coming into natural gas right now. It is definitely wanting to march higher, but there is stuff to have to get overhead. Gotta get over for the bulls. Got to get over this descending trend line. If it can manage to do that, though, it's got some significant distance it could cover, because the next significant points are going to be around here and then way up here, with this being the big one, of course. If it can get over that, then it's really got some room to run. But if it even just gets above kind of where it is now, and there's some significant distance between this high and this high. So it could cover some distance. It could go anywhere in here before being able to get under control by the bears again and head south. So definitely a time to be cautious if you are in the bear camp in natural gas. You need to see it head lower, which right this instant it is doing. So perhaps the bears are already stepping in and starting to move this lower. So those are what you're going to want to keep an eye on for natural gas. Oh, okay. I got a comment in YouTube. Is there a divergence on the Navigator daily? Let me zoom out and take a look at that. I'm zooming in so you could actually see things. So there is not really a divergence. Well, I mean, no, there just isn't. There isn't a divergence on the daily Navigator. A divergence you would need to see since the Navigator is green. We would need to see higher highs, right? But then the Navigator making lower highs. And right now we don't see that. Right now we have the Navigator is moving down, and the price is moving down. So that actually fits. That's just Navigator reporting what's going on. If we had Navigator, if we had price, if price had made a new high, say up here, and Navigator had made a high here and then a lower high here, that would be a divergence. That would be what we'd be looking for, is opposite actions, price going higher, Navigator going lower, or to the bear side, Navigator going lower and price, Navigator going higher and price going lower. So that's what we're looking for in a divergence. On the shorter term, just for grins, let's take a look and make sure I'm not missing anything on the shorter term. Whoops, let's get rid of this. There we go. Shorter term, we're making higher highs. Okay, actually, shorter term, this is not a super significant thing. It's not a gigantic red flag or anything, but we do have a slightly divergent Navigator. I wouldn't go so far as to say this is an actual divergence, but it's just kind of worth noting is we have higher highs in price, but we have lower highs in Navigator. So this is very minor. I wouldn't put a lot of weight on this, but we have a slightly trending down Navigator while we have slightly trending up prices. So, it's a small thing, but it is there. All right, I hope that has been useful. Hope that has been helpful. If you enjoy these videos, if you find them useful in any way, please do let us know. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of, what you'd like to see us do. If there's anything we're not including that you'd like us to include, let us know that as well. Also, do please give us a like if you like the video, and be sure to subscribe so that you are notified every morning and afternoon when I'm ready to go live for my pre-market and post-market analyses. That's going to be it for me this morning. I'm going to get ready for my trading day. Looking forward to it. I hope you all are as well. I hope everybody had a great Halloween last night. I don't know about you, but if we get a dozen trick-or-treaters every year, it's a shockingly large amount. I don't know what the deal is. Does nobody trick-or-treat anymore? People just not bring their kids up with that anymore? It's kind of a shame. It was always a lot of fun. So whatever. We had a good time with the handful of kids who came by. And I hope you all had a great time as well, whatever it is you chose to do. So happy November, everybody. Good trading. Looking forward to talking to you this afternoon. Take care.